Now, as you've probably heard already, Texas recently passed a law prohibiting people from ending pregnancies once a heartbeat is detected, and that's usually around the 6-week point of the pregnancy. And in response to that, the Satanic Temple is actually threatening to take legal action if they don't get an exemption against the new Texas ban because of their religious beliefs. Now, the story gets wilder than you'd think, and in this video, I'm going to show you why the Satanists that are opposing the bill are actually going against everything that they stand for, and really, they're actually in support of the bill. They just haven't realized it yet. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So The Hill put out an article yesterday explaining the situation. They said, the Satanic Temple, TST, is challenging the recently enacted abortion restrictions in Texas, citing religious freedoms. The religion said on its website that it stands ready to assist any of its members who want to fight the law. It said it has lobbied the state for an exemption to the law under its own religious freedom law, Texas Religious Freedom Restoration Act. The group said if the state declines to provide the exemption, then it will seek judicial relief. The Satanic Temple argues that its members should have access to the medications under Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which allows Native Americans to have access to drugs for their religious rituals. So to be clear, these Satanists are saying that they have a right to end pregnancies due to their religious rituals. Yeah, so unless there's something that I'm missing, that's a pretty terrible argument. What they're referring to is a law that allows Native Americans to take peyote, which is a psychedelic drug that they can use in accordance with their religious rituals. But when these Satanists try to use that fact as a way to show a parallel argument for why they should be able to end pregnancies, they're already off to a bad start. The reasoning given behind the Texas bill is to protect human life, and obviously religious exemptions don't grant you the ability to directly end the lives of others for the sake of rituals or other religious reasons. This is why Islamic attacks are still illegal. But that aside, when I looked at their reasoning on their website, there was a few things that they had on there that really stuck out to me. The first thing was, when they talk about the Texas bill, they refer to the Texas bill as a violation of their ability to perform satanic rituals. Now, to be clear, on their website, they deny that they actually believe in the existence of Satan, and they claim that they use the word Satanist as a way to fight against superstition. Instead of believing in Satan or some religious book, they claim to have 7 core tenets that they teach, and a few of which I found particularly interesting in light of the opposition of the Texas ban. For example, they say, beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. Interestingly enough, science is actually pretty clear that what's growing inside of a pregnant woman is human, and it has human DNA. At the moment of conception, it has its own unique genetic fingerprint that's not only human, but it also has a DNA code that's different from both the mother and the father's DNA. In other words, scientifically speaking, it's a separate human life. But even though this is the case, this doesn't necessarily mean that these Satanists have shown any inconsistency yet when they oppose the new Texas ban. For all we know, they may even accept the scientific facts, and rather than trying to make the science fit their religious beliefs, they may acknowledge the reality of it being a human being growing inside of a mother's womb. They might just be okay with terminating it anyway. So far, there's really no contradiction. That is, until we read more of their tenets. Let's read another one. One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. And by one, of course, they mean a human, someone who has a body. But whose body is in danger of being terminated when it comes to ending a pregnancy? As we all know, a woman doesn't have 2 hearts or 40 fingers and toes, so whose body is being terminated if it's not the mother's body? Of course, it would have to be someone else's. But their core tenet says that a person's body is inviolable and subject to a person's will alone. But when they argue against the Texas ban, they're arguing for the literal opposite of their core tenet. Now, in order for them to stay consistent, they would have to deny that the science proves that there's another human body with its own separate DNA inside of the woman. But even if they deny the fact that it's another human growing inside of the womb, they wouldn't be able to deny the fact that whatever is growing inside of the womb, it's something that's alive. And that's scientifically undeniable. But if it's not human, then what is it? Well, since it's not the same thing as the mother, given that it has its own DNA and it's not human life, then it would be a creature, since the definition of a creature can be an animal or a life form that's distinct from a human being. But even if this is the case, they've still got yet another serious problem. When we read their very first tenet, it says, one should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. So, all creatures. Well, Maybe it's just me, but it doesn't sound very compassionate or empathetic to end the life of a creature without its consent, especially when that creature doesn't have the ability to defend itself, does it? Now, I could go on for days about their beliefs, but you get the point. It's hard to take their beliefs seriously when, on the surface, they don't even take their own beliefs seriously, which is why so many people conclude that they're really just a troll organization that aren't even religious. In fact, they get this so often that they actually address this accusation under their frequently asked questions list on their website. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I believe that the fact that Satanists are calling the act of terminating life in a womb a satanic ritual really works against their mission. The fact that Satanists are calling the act of ending a pregnancy a satanic ritual only makes people far more uncomfortable with it, and will even cause the most hardcore liberals who believe in God to take a step back and second guess if they're actually fighting for something that Satan and his followers are fighting for. In reality, most people who are fighting against the Texas ban are probably more like Simone Biles, but that doesn't mean that she and those like her hold views on the subject without significant issues. No, there's plenty of issues and plenty of serious ones. Go ahead and click here to see what I mean. But the next time that you hear a Satanist claiming to be all about protecting the rights of humans and all other creatures, what are you gonna say?
What do you mean?